And a good Wednesday midday to you. Roger Hill of Weathering Heights Consulting, VELCO Weather Hazards Forecaster. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com. They represent 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, and 802 Honda. They're all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. Looking at temperature anomalies in the southern hemisphere, and you can see a cold patch here, currently across a good portion of Canada. But note all the Arctic warming. This is temperatures that are well above the normals for this time of year. And let's compare notes with the current temperatures. You can still see it's pretty cold in the Arctic, but note it's coldest across portions of northern Canada at this point. And current snow depths we have, our snow is just a little bit north of New York City, the snow line where snow begins, and not super extensive over North America at this point. Over Asia, quite extensive. And a quick check of sea surface temperatures. This is the Atlantic. You can see how much above normal. We're running, in many cases, over 2 degrees Celsius. And this is the view looking toward Europe. You can see much above normal temperatures up here in the Arctic. That's not good. Also coming in from, it looks like the Davis Straits, southwest corner of Greenland. Notably, a very cold anomaly. One of the few that we find here is off the coast of Vietnam, the China Sea. Still ongoing La Nina, fairly strong in the central 3.1, 3.2 region. And looking a little more in the southern hemisphere, we have sort of mixed results here. And this particular area here is, this is New Zealand, back over toward Fiji, Tonga. We just had a Category 4, Category 5 borderline cyclone, Gita, move through this region here with above normal sea surface temperatures. It's well above normal between Australia and New Zealand, Tasmania, and so forth. And then that's followed by a little cooling area where a lot of ice is melting, of course, from the fresher waters coming off of Antarctica. And looking here at the general flow from mostly zonal, just about due west to east. Typically for the eastern part of the country, east of the Rockies, this supports warmer than normal temperatures, and indeed we have that anomaly going on right now considerably. We do have a trough in the west. This is good news for parts of Southern California, bringing in a little bit of rain. In the Pacific Northwest, another trough swinging through a shortwave, the typical Washington, Oregon, British Columbia area. So for temperatures, what that does is allows a lot warmer temperatures to creep eventually back up. This trough will probably get together with this one and phase together and then develop. And we're going to continue with a broad ridge of higher pressure. With this ridge of higher pressure, it doesn't really show up yet, but this trough will dig down, and this will become the mean trough position, and then a ridge of higher pressure here with a lot of influx of Gulf of Mexico air. A lot of that is going to be off to the south of us. We're going to get kind of fringe effects. So hence a little bit of rain shower activity that develops really during the afternoon on Thursday. Continues with another pulse into the overnight period late Thursday night, Friday morning, and then a cold front that will deliver what will be a little bit of wet snow to our higher elevations, followed by a cold period and another very robust mild intrusion developing for early next week. GFS ensemble centered on Burlington. You can kind of see a rainfall. I would ignore this right here. This little bit of rain shower activity is going to come in tomorrow afternoon. And it doesn't look like there's going to be very much of it here. We're talking under 0.2 of an inch in general. And then another one looks like a little better chances for snow. This is going to be moving in on Friday. It may deliver somewhere between a trace and around 3 inches of snowfall in the local mountains. And then a little break in the action, and then we warm up. QPF, total 7-day precipitation accumulation, less than an inch. This is the half-inch line and so forth. Main storm track is going to be the south with this ridge of higher pressure, kind of giving this kind of motion here with numerous small disturbances. Not a lot getting up in the sort of outer reaches. And then, of course, we have opening up that shortwave trough in the Pacific Northwest, and there's something down in Southern California way, giving the deserts actually a little better chances for rain. This is much needed rainfall, all good for them. Overall temperature anomalies, we're running above normal now, 6 degrees above normal. And that's good for the next 5 days of maximum high temperatures, and 3 days later we're going to be warming even further. It looks closer to 9 degrees. And we're looking at the 6-hour panels here. So we have the warmth in the eastern part of the U.S. You can see the cold up in Canada with the blue dashed lines indicating less than 5,400 meter thickness, indicating snow would be favorable. And in the red dashed lines, this is where we might see a little bit of rain. We get that one little shortwave trough. This is working through during the afternoon on Thursday with more precip to the north, a little bit of a break. Then the next 6-hour panel brings us more precipitation that's going to develop overnight Thursday night into Friday morning. This is where we could see a little tiny bit of freezing rain, and then it looks like we're going to see some gusty winds on the backside of that. It does look like they stay well below thresholds, and with a little bit of snow shower activity into the day on Friday, into Friday night, this stuff begins to work on out and clears on out with an area of higher pressure and control on Saturday. We get that area of higher pressure kind of elongated just a bit. One little passing system to the south of us looks like it's going to stay south, this going off the middle Atlantic coast. The northern fringes is going to be good enough for snow, and there might be a little bit of snow in parts of southern New England. It's a quick shot, and then it moves out very quickly. The next 6-hour panel you can see here, and so forth. High pressure builds back in, so that Sunday is going to actually be a fine day after a little bit of snow shower flurry activity in southern Vermont. And then their area of higher pressure basically rules the roost. This is going to be giving us a 3-day stretch of very fine weather, as it looks right now, into probably the end of Tuesday before some precipitation begins to work in the form of rain. Now this looks a little more healthy here. This shot will also bring us a major mild intrusion, at least advertised by the European. A lot of this is going to be this particular weather system weakening, this strong trough of lower pressure in the west holding strong, and of course it's all related to this Bermuda high-like ridge of higher pressure, which is giving this feed that will continue to move all that moisture and warmth, temperatures potentially even in the 60s next week on Wednesday. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.